Unmanned Soviet Lunar 9 spacecraft makes first control rocket-assisted landing on the moon. Lunar 10 is the first man-made object to enter lunar orbit, and Caesar's Palace Hotel and Casino opens in Las Vegas. The year is 1966, and this four-door hardtop could be had at your Chrysler dealer. But before getting into all of it, I'm Jay. Welcome to What It's Like, the automotive channel that dares you to drive something different, whether that's for daily or recreational use. We dive in deep on history, specs, but most importantly, we show what these cars are like. If that sounds of interest, a channel that you will totally dig, subscribe and hit the bell icon next to it to never miss a video. This 1966 Chrysler 300 is currently for sale at Classic Auto Mall, Morgantown, Pennsylvania. With over 1,000 cars for sale when recording this episode, anybody can peruse their inventory in person or online. They have financing and shipping available. For directions, hours of operation, and to see more pictures and get more information on this very car, be sure to click the link below after the show. 1966 Chrysler model lineup, Newport, New Yorker 300. They also offered wagon in the form of town and country, which could be had in 6 passengers or 9 passenger configurations. 1966 Chrysler 300 could be had as a 2-door hardtop, 4-door sedan, 2-door convertible, and 4-door hardtop. Chrysler offered the 300, and that's a bit tricky. They offered it from 1955 through 1965 as a letter series and the year 1970. They also offered it from 1962 through 71 as the Chrysler 300 and 1979 model year, which was Cordoba based, but it was offered a 300 package. They brought back the Chrysler 300 in 2005, and they just discontinued it after the 2023 model year due to poor sales. People of today would rather drive SUVs than sedans. The 1966 Chrysler 300 was designed by Elwood Engle. 1966 saw a bit of a facelift, so let's compare. 65 on top, 66 on the bottom, starting in the front. The front fascia is completely different between these two. Bumpers, headlights, grills. The 66 comes to more of a point than the 65. Also, the 66 hood is different. The 66 also has a hood ornament that the 65 does not have. Turn signals are in different locations between these two. Moving to the side profile, pretend the top image is a 4-door car. The 65 has trim around the front wheel well that the 66 doesn't have. Look at this, how different the side profile of the bumpers are, both in the front and the rear. Wheel covers are different. The 66 has vents that the 65 doesn't have. They're fake vents. I have to add that. Moving aft, both cars have fender skirts. The 65 has a skeg line that isn't as pronounced on the 66. Bumpers, lights are completely different. Moving inside to take a gander at the dash, very similar with different trim and horn button. Which one do you like better? Let's talk specs. 221.9 inches long, 79.5 inches wide, 55.2 inches tall. It rides a wheelbase of 124 inches. It weighs 4,332 pounds. Price, $4,000, which is equivalent to you spending $37,869.88 in the year 2024. Total 1966 Chrysler production was 264,848 units. Total Chrysler 300 was 49,598 units, and of that number, 20,642 were the 4-door hardtop variety. Moving on to engines, which there were 2 engines on offer. The base engine was 383 cubic inch displacement overhead valve, V8 6.3 liters. It's good for 325 horsepower, 4,800 RPM, 425 pound-feet, or 576 newton meters at 3,200 RPM. With a bore of 4.3 inches and a stroke of 3.4 inches, compression was 10.1 to 1. 5 main bearings. When backed with a torque flight 3-speed automatic, 0 to 60 could be had in 7.8 seconds, with a theoretical top speed of 125 miles per hour, while achieving 9.7 miles to the gallon average. Optional engine, 440 cubic inch displacement, often called TNT. Overhead valve V8, 7.2 liters. It's good for anywhere between 350 to 365 horsepower at 4,400 RPM, 480 pound-feet, or 651 newton meters at 3,200 RPM, with a bore of 4.3 inches and a stroke of 3.8 inches. Compression is 10.1 to 1. When backed with a 3-speed automatic torque flight transmission, 0 to 60 could be had in 7.1 seconds with a theoretical top speed of 101 miles per hour. Average fuel consumption is anywhere between 8.6 to 10 miles to the gallon. 2 transmissions on offer, 3-speed manual or the 3-speed automatic torque flight automatic. Options, not getting into all of the options, but here are a few. Front self-adjusting power disc brakes, emergency flashers, rear defrost and defogger, tilt wheel, sentinel lighting, which keeps the lights on just like Motel 6, air conditioning, tow package.
Now there is a younger Chrysler, the 66. Obviously new, luxurious, beautiful. A younger Chrysler, where comfort is deeper, driving far more exciting. The excitement of a 440 cubic inch TNT V8 with twin snorkels and twin exhausts. Don't you agree youth does come twice in life? When you're young and when you want to be. The 1966 Chrysler is built for both. Move up to Chrysler. It's easy.
Let's talk styling. Starting with the grille and headlights. Just look at these headlights. I love the way the grille is behind it. Chrysler, nice and proud right here at the top. I love that it comes to a peak here, point. But just look at all of the different finning, textured going on with that. Let's look at how these bumpers are designed. Turn signal indicators are right there at the bottom. This hood is relatively smooth, aside from the 2 lines coming down to the 300 badge here in the center. So this one has the turn signal indicators in the fenders themselves, and you just see it whenever you turn the turn signals on. Right there, this would light up. Just look at the side bumper profile. I love the design of that. That looks so cool. I love how it comes over here to the fender, how this part protrudes just ever so slightly, almost like a skeg. This is just capped off in the wheel well. Look at all of the detail and intricacies of this wheel cover. Beautiful 300 right there in the center. This car does not have rocker molding. Instead, it has a piece of trim that runs. There's a bit of a bead or a protrusion line, I suppose. The trim is right on top of that, and it runs from here to the end of the car. Love these side grills. Just look at the shape of that. There's a lot going on with this side profile that just gets lost in pictures. It doesn't show up in pictures well. It's almost like an S. Cowl vent, windshield wipers. Look at all the stainless at the bottom of the windshield here. I don't know if you'd call this a drip rail. It's like a drip ledge. It's another nice 300 badge right there. Just look at how they did this back glass and the formal roof. That is a big back glass. Coming back to the trunk section, isn't as smooth as the hood. There's a bit of a ridge here and here. This car does have fender skirts. And man, it has a lot going on with that fender skirt design. Just look at all of this. This car is very understated, but it's very elegant when you stop and look at all of the different lines and everything that's going on. These bumpers are very sophisticated. There's lots going on. Look at how this door is designed. It's got quite a bit of heft to it. All things considered, it's a pretty small door. Pretty heavy. Dark, almost like a midnight blue. Feels like a vinyl. And it has a little bit of plush to it, like a little bit of give when you touch this, but not so much. Armrest, also the door handle to pull the door shut. This is the door handle to get out. Window crank for the vent window. Operates like that. This one has a toggle style side mirror. Window crank for the big window. Operates like this. Also notice it's just a bit notched right here, so when it meets up with that, also has this nice channeled section to meet with this section here. Coming down inside the pedal box down here, you have the parking brake or emergency brake or foot brake, or everybody calls it something different. Brake release is right on top there. Right behind it is the high beam switch, brake pedal, gas pedal. So this one's got four-way flashers, which that toggle switch does. There's also a vent right there, another vent and speaker. Just take a look at this interior. Here's what over the hood looks like. Here's what first person over the hood would look like. Down below, there is adequate space to put my hand in between my lap and the steering wheel. I wear size 36 pants. The only reason I show that is because if you don't fit in the car, it's not a comfortable place to be to drive the car. I absolutely love this steering wheel. It's like pencil thin, and it has the little nubs on the back. Oh man, it's gorgeous in here. Just look at this speedometer instrument binnacle in front of me. On to the button switches and knobs, starting on the left and moving right. Headlights, windshield wiper, lights for oil pressure and coolant temperature, speedometer. Right above the speedometer 0, there is the brake warning light, tripometer, odometer, amp meter, drive modes read, park, reverse, neutral, drive, second, first, gasoline gauge, ignition, off, heat, max heat, defrost, radio. Up above there are sun visors and it has the rear view mirror cut out. This rear view mirror has options on it. Like it looks like it's an automatic dimming mirror. Interesting feature. Sun visor for the passenger. Notice the cutouts for the rear view mirror. It almost doesn't affect it. This one has a center armrest. So you could use it as a center armrest or you could use it as a center seat. On to the glove box test. Here's our test subject. Here is the glove box in question. It's not going to fit. I mean, I could probably shoehorn it in there. I'm just afraid that I won't be able to get it out. It's really close, but it doesn't fit. Coming to the rear door. Just look at this trim triangle. Also notice this is a hard top. So that means that there isn't a pillar here. And that is as far open as the door goes in the rear. Notice the window doesn't have any trim around it. Armrest, as well as ashtray. Ashtray on the door handle, armrest itself. Door handle to get out, window crank for the big window. It operates like this. Just look at that interior. Look at how much space is back there. Here is what the front looks like from the back. Let's take a quick gander at the greenhouse or pillar to glass ratio. This is what visibility looks like out the rear from the back seat. Stock creature comforts. There is a dome light, I guess you could call it a pillar light, in the pillar there, as well as coat hook at the top. Coat hook over here, as well as pillar light. Also notice all of the bright work around everything. These seats are really comfortable. Let's talk seat back profile. It does sit rather upright and it does dip down back here, but it isn't uncomfortable. There's tons of space. Look how much space that is. I always tell people Chrysler is second to none in the space department. I love the bright work on the back of these chairs. It's just a nice quality feature. This one also has the fanny pack feature on the back of the chair. I don't know if that was an option for that Chrysler fanny pack bag. Check out the seat belts. They're like airplane seat belts. I absolutely dig the seat belts from this time period. There is a lighter right here. How cool is that? It's right at the base of the armrest. Coming to the under the hood section, the hood release is right here. It's this funky looking bar thing, and you just kind of pull it towards you, down. And that brings it to this position, which there's a secondary catch. And that one is right. It's another bar. And you pull it towards you. It's right there. This hood's pretty heavy, which is weird because it has torsion bars. So it should be lighter than it was, but still heavy. So just take a gander at this engine. It's got an alternator down there. Dual horns right there on the side. Radiator. Old style battery. It's got a dual master cylinder with power brake booster. Power steering. On the positive side, big, gracious, spacious car, both front and rear. Awesome dashboard, built solid with what feels to be quality materials. Club support against it. These were never really saved, so consequently body parts and trim parts are hard to come by. Big and thirsty. All right, now it's time for Would You Rather. 2 scenarios today. In the first scenario, would you rather have a 1966 Lincoln Continental or 1966 Chrysler 300 or 1966 Cadillac DeVille? I'm going to leave this here for a minute. If you need more time, feel free, pause the video. Moving on to the second scenario, 1964 Chrysler 300 or 1966 Chrysler 300 or 1968 Chrysler 300. Once again, I'm going to leave this here for a minute. If you need more time, feel free, pause the video. Now it's time for Name That Tune. First person to get both the name of the band and the song title correctly in the comment section will have their comment pinned to the top of it. Man, 1966 was a great year for music. Anyway, thank you all so much for coming out and watching this. If you'd like to get in touch with me, shoot me a comment in the comment section below. I read and answer all comments posted. I don't say that for self-worth or anything. I just say if you leave a comment, it will definitely get read. If you want to talk to me one-on-one, send me an email. All of it will be linked in the description below. Just know I appreciate all of the information and stories and everything that you guys bring in the comment section. Until next time, toodaloo!